off of Eckerly, and he just missed the net. O'Reilly with the shot. Far down, he scored!
Come from behind for a month. Now with the lead, they're getting a little wobbly. Philadelphia, they won't get it! Wow! Edwards pulls up and buries a play! Shot for Derby!
What is up, all? Welcome on into Pitchfork Lunch. Yes, I am Michael Caratenuto at Diablo00 on X, the artist formerly known as the Twitter. Yes, you know this. You love this. Check out the show live there every day, Monday through Friday, 12 to 1. Also, don't forget my IG, michael.caratenuto.5. Yes, I know. Don't be bashful. You guys know that. My Pitchfork Lunchers, I know I remind you every day. Yeah, michael.caratenuto.5. And then, yes, I also remind you every day, the YouTube channel, my friends. Go to YouTube. You see my name, Michael Caratenuto, but you can search my channel page. It's at M as in Michael, V as in Victory, C as in Champ 005, at MVC005 on YouTube. And subscribe. Why? Because, again, you have missed a ton of just phenomenal interviews so far. Also, players. Well, interviews with coaches, players, sound from practice, catching up with coaches. Just again, I've been lucky enough to keep just going onward and upward with this. And you've missed some stuff, but you can go to YouTube and you can subscribe to the channel. So you can binge watch. Again, you got all last season to binge watch. Plus, you can catch up on this season, although, you know, winter break, a break right there would have been a nice time to do it. And I know over the summer, a few people did reach out. They did check out the show from the first season stuff they missed. So I greatly appreciate that. But again, subscribe to the YouTube channel. Watch the show live on YouTube, of course, do that, but still subscribe. Again, it's at M as in Michael, V as in Victory, C as in Champ 005, at MVC005 on YouTube. And subscribe away, because, like I said, you got a lot to catch up on. Also, my friends, you know this. If you're listening, you know this. But those watching, you can spread the word to your friends. You can now listen to Pitchfork Lunch Live on the best internet radio station out there, the Casual Sports Radio Network. All you have to do is go to www.ksrnaz.com and click Listen Live. Well, page will open up. Go down to Listen Live. Hit play. Bam. Pitchfork Lunch. Monday through Friday, 12 to 1. And you can listen live right there. If you're driving, again, stream it through your Bluetooth. But again, it's one of those things where, you know, I want you to watch, but like I say every day, and I will always say every day, please don't watch and drive. Paying attention to the road, obviously, you know, important. And you're Sun Devils, you're smart. We know this. Forks up to that. But yes, you can stream it through your Bluetooth, and absolutely awesome. Casually invited Pitchfork Lunch into the family there. So again, Monday through Friday, 12 to 1, you can watch it. And when you go to their website, again, www.ksrnaz.com, again, follow all their socials. But man, you want to talk about not just Sun Devil content, but man, Casual E has got you up to date on the Cardinals content. Big improvement this year, obviously. Yes, people got excited. They were in first place for a minute or two, and yeah, it just it was a roller coaster of a season, but record improvement, see improvement from the team. Casual E's got you covered with the Cardinals, the Suns, big win against Philly last night, mixing up the starting lineup, all that good stuff. The Diamondbacks, spring training around the corner, crazy as it is, but the Diamondbacks, the Mercury, all there on the Casual Sports Radio Network. So again, check it out. You're driving around, check it out. But again, you can go to www.ksrnaz.com and let Casual E know you're enjoying Pitchfork Lunch, my friends, you know, and all the other awesome stuff, like I said, that is there. But let them know you're enjoying Pitchfork Lunch because, you know, we want to rock it. Yeah. So, and hoops. Well, tomorrow, men's hoops is in Kansas. We talked about this yesterday. Yesterday mentioned there, obviously we heard from Coach Hurley and BJ Freeman and Bashir Jihad after their nice win against Colorado, rebounding after that tough loss to BYU on the road in Provo. And so they're 1-1 in Big 12 play right there. For the ASU women, they are 2-1 in Big 12 play, my friends. So yeah, that is very awesome. But they both are in action. Like I said, the men are going to be in Lawrence tomorrow night, which is, again, just a very, very good thing. Coach Hurley, you know, it's obviously a bucket list thing. And he did mention that he's had, after the game, you heard him here yesterday, had some success there as a coach. The last two times they played Kansas, they won. Allen, they won there first and then back in Tempe a few years back. And now they are obviously conference foes and they're about to light it up. So again, that's yeah, big fan of them going to Kansas. But also, oh yes, before we get to women, again, guys, let your friends know, joining us, I promise you today, assistant head coach and special teams coordinator, great friend of the program, Charlie Ragle, will be joining us. And again, just if there are certain coaches, even when you sit down and talk to them calmly, and people can say, oh, isn't that all coaches? No, every coach is different, but you'll definitely, you know, play for them. But if you can't get fired up to play for Coach Ragle, and as he's on the recruiting trail, he's nice enough to join us while he's out on the recruiting trail. If you can't get fired up enough or you're not fired up after talking to Coach Ragle and play, what's the old adage? I don't know if you have a pulse, but yeah, he'll be joining us. So again, we got about 5 minutes. 5 minutes he'll be joining us, which is again absolutely awesome. So yeah, let your friends know. But again, you're gonna want to get in because we always get good stuff out of Coach here on Pitchfork Lunch. And again, just amazing, phenomenal season. And yes, it's always tough when you lose the last game. We'll talk about that. But and the season as well, recruiting, and who knows, whatever else might come up with Coach Ragle and I. But absolutely awesome. So he'll be joining us. But like I was saying, the men hoops taking on Kansas tomorrow. The women, they are at home taking on Iowa State. Iowa State, wait, it's a K-State. Oh, my calendar! I swear, I promise you guys, it is madness because it takes a second. But let's see. They are taking on Iowa State. I was right, 6:30 p.m. And guys, it's not at Desert Financial. It is at Mullet Arena again. They took on Penn there, and now they're headed over to Mullet Arena to take on Iowa State. And then they have Baylor next, which will be at Desert Financial on Saturday. I just want to mention Saturday real quick because that is going to be a men's and women's doubleheader. Going to be awesome here in Tempe. So you have women's hoops at 3:30 and men's hoops at 7:30. Yeah, that's absolutely awesome, to say the least. So, but yeah, Iowa State first and foremost, 6:30 tomorrow night at Mullet Arena. So again, get on out there as this team now over 500, 8-7, like I said, 2-1 in conference play, 5-1 at home. Like to keep keep that going. 1-4 away has been tough on the road, but 2-2 in neutral sites. So not bad for Coach Adair and her team, who's been a little bit banged up, a little bit of a mash unit, and we'll get to that. But that is who they have coming up. So yeah, very, 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 very stoked for hoop season. And obviously the men, as we know, 10-3 as they head to Allen Fieldhouse to take on the Kansas Jayhawks. 10-3 overall, 1-1, like I said, in conference play. 5-0 at home, 0-2 away, looking to get off the schneid on that one. Gonzaga and Florida are the 2 away losses, so it's not like they lost to teams that, you think, oh, it's going to be a tough season for ASU. But again, you want to get to an elite level, got to beat those teams. Kansas, it is at 7 p.m. tomorrow, again on ESPN2 and 98.7 FM. And by the way, Kansas is ranked. I didn't think about this, but Kansas is 11th in the country. They're 10-3 as well. They dropped 4 spots. So the number 1 team for right now is Tennessee. They're 14-0. Auburn is number 2 at 13-1. Iowa State, the men's side, they're 3 at 12-1. Duke is number 4 at 12-2, and then Alabama is at number 5. They are 12-2 as well. And then 6 through 10 is Kentucky, Marquette, Florida, again ASU, tough loss against them, UConn, and Texas A&M, like I said. And then we got Big 12 run, Kansas and Houston, 11 and 12 back to back. And then let's see, Gonzaga actually is, well, they're at number 18 now. West Virginia is number 21. So Big 12 wise, yes, that is it's for the rankings as West Virginia's 21. Houston is, like I said, 12, and Kansas is 11. So yeah, that is where they're at. But again, very exciting matchup. Hey, we're gonna step aside, and when we get back, guys, again, let your friends know, jump on in. But assistant head coach and special teams coordinator Charlie Ragle is going to be joining me. So we'll step aside and have more Pitchfork Lunch with Coach Ragle on the other side. All right, we are back here on Pitch.
This is the sound of a racing heart. It's beating a little faster because it belongs to a young child. But this child isn't in the middle of a close soccer game or playing with her puppy in the yard. Her heart is racing because she's just been told she has to move foster homes again. Change a child's story. There's a child waiting for a volunteer like you. Learn how you can help at casaforchildren.org.
Got a big painting project you've been putting off because you don't think you can afford it? Well, it's time to call the team at Customer First Solutions. Customer First is your one-stop shop for all home repairs, from full interior and exterior painting to handyman services, drywall repair, electrical, and plumbing. Customer First has the most competitive prices in the Valley. Your flat rate quote is based on the square footage of your home, and that includes wall repair. All Customer First technicians are licensed, bonded, and fully background checked for your assurance. Call or text Customer First Solutions at 480-877-0255 for your free quote. Customer First Solutions, where our customers and their homes are our first priority.
KSRN has the inside track on all things sports, with topics and opinions from former players and local personalities. Catch 15-year NFL veteran Ed Smith and Jay Adams on Easy Sports Talk every Saturday.
Unfortunately, with this back and these knees, I don't quite have that ability, or at least I use.
Are you good?
For all things Arizona Cardinals, tune in Monday nights with Casual E and Sean McConnell.
Bird Gang, I know it's another tough loss, but keep encouraged. We miss you, BA.
And now you can exclusively listen to former Arizona Cardinal Jeremy Bridges on his show, JB and Benny Blue Review.
Exactly.
Don't be dumb.
Sending the message out to the world.
Always laying that message. Don't be dumb.
Yes, your guy, Benny Blue, comedian extraordinaire.
Exclusively on KSRN, Casual Sports Radio Network.
You are listening to the best internet radio station on the web, KSRN, Arizona.
All right, we are back here on a Pitchfork Lunch. Yes, I am Michael Caratino at Diablo00 on X, artist formerly known as Twitter. And like I promised, guys, joining us next is always been a great friend of the show. And obviously, again, like I tell you guys a million times, it was very nice to a young broadcaster bugging him when he was winning championships at the high school level and teaching me a little bit more about coverages, because when I would say something, he would politely explain it, but as always, ASU assistant head coach and special teams coordinator Charlie Ragle joining me. Coach, like I always say, man, thanks for always being so gracious with your time. I greatly appreciate it. And man, I know you're out in the recruiting trail, but now that you've had time for the game to sink in, I guess ASU does belong. Like you've been you guys, the players have been telling us all year. You've been talking to us all year about it. I've been saying it all year, Homer show or not, people, tend to listen to you guys more, but man, what a hell of a season, Coach. And I know obviously you'd still love to be playing, but you said something a lot of my viewers appreciated before the Arizona game when I talked to you after practice, saying, obviously we're here to win, but being ahead of schedule is a very good thing. So just, your thoughts on the season, the phenomenal experience at the Peach Bowl, and just how the guys took to it and grew.
Yeah, well, first of all, good to be with you, and I always appreciate you having me. I think the saying "the heart of a champion" certainly applies to this football team. Obviously the game didn't finish the way we wanted it to, and certainly like to have a few plays back, and especially in the special teams world in which I live. But these kids and how hard they play, it can't be matched. And it's something that we've talked about on this show, and I've talked about throughout the course of the year on multiple shows. This team was just built different, and it's a testament as you sit back, whatever it is, 5-6 days after the game and reflect, almost a week, not quite 6 days, but you sit back and reflect. This is a special group, and they'll forever go down in ASU lore as one of the best teams, ever assembled. And that's a fitting tag to be labeled on this group.
And Coach, I'm going to get to the special teams because, first the punt return for a touchdown. I mean, there's a lot of ASU fans right away that were taking to social media saying, since when can you block in the back? And look, and you've said it before, we've all said it, being an official in this day and age has always been pretty much a thankless job, but when you see something like that, and again, special teams, I mean, you guys in the returning have not had really a breakdown like that. I hate to say the word breakdown, but I mean, that's how it gets.
No, I mean, it is what it is. Yeah. I mean,
but when you look at that play, I mean, within momentum early in the game, how do you feel that affected the team?
That killed us. It was huge. Obviously to give back, quick scores like that. Our defense played phenomenal and they've done a great job all year. Obviously they gave up the quick score and then to turn right around and give another one back to them on a punt return. You can't do that. You can't win football games and you can't win in you can't win in championship time giving up plays like that. And the football in terms of the call, or no call, that's the game. I can't control any of that. We have to be better in the coverage aspect. Excuse me. We have to be better in the coverage aspect. We have to get more hang time on the punt there in that situation and not allow that to happen. And so that was critical. And, that certainly hurt us big picture wise, most definitely.
And, it was a part of the game, but Coach, I want to transition to the positive. I was saying up in the press box there that, if it happens, you might lose your punter to being a quarterback because Mr. Canyon Floyd is now 2 for 2 on passes. And man, that rugby style kick, ever since and I remember even talking to you, quite a few years back, the first few times I saw it in college football, I'm like, man, that's actually a really good thing because people aren't, if you fly upfield, it's good for a fake, but it also gives guys a little bit more time to get down there if there's challenges, if you're trying to cover some insane speedster. But Canyon Floyd, on the rugby style punt, rolls to his right again and just delivers a very beautiful pass on that. When he's doing something like that, and I can't saying that you're going to obviously lose him to, wanting to play quarterback, but man, what an asset to have and just what a season. He had too, but when you hit a play like that, obviously everybody, it's big. It's a momentum swing, but how just awesome is that for somebody like Canyon, obviously a true freshman, to come in and do that?
Yeah, it's huge. And Canyon's a special player. And, he's going to be an elite punter for Arizona State. And I believe, he will be an all conference plus type of punter over his career here over the next 3 seasons. He's special. He's a special athlete. He's a special young man. He knows the things that he's got to work on to make himself elite over this offseason. And I think he's primed and ready for that. But to show up and do what he did over the course of the season as a true freshman is big time. And I get it. Everybody wants, magnificent results and we had a magnificent year, but there's certain phases as you bring players along that still require development and he's going to get there, but to step up and play, how he did was remarkable in making that play. Something that we've been working on probably for a couple months now, and we knew based off of what those guys, how they were playing us and how they played other teams, that we were going to have that ability because that end was doubling down on the punt tackle, and we just thought, hey, if we can hold it and suck him in and then we had Blazin there, who was a former tight end in high school, and we set that up really nice. And then Blazin slipped him, and then you saw the soft hands that he had, and it was great execution by those guys. So it was a job well done by those guys, and it certainly helped us in a time where we really needed that to continue the drive.
Yeah, Coach, you talk about the future thought of this team, but that'll be the greatest. That'll be a great barroom trivia question because he's 2 for 2, completing both of those to maybe former tight ends, but still defensive linemen. So a punter to a defensive lineman twice. I'd obviously be remiss if I didn't ask you again the way, like you said, your guys' had to deal with, being overlooked, and every week it was, something different. But the way Cam played, I mean, you're no stranger, obviously, to having players, be sick and, somebody throws up on a sideline. But I mean, what Cam did, and you mentioned obviously the defensive line, but with the offensive line, how they adjusted, taking on that defensive line, but the performance by the O-line and Cam, are you running out of adjectives to describe what they did? Because that is just absolutely, I mean, what he did and what the O-line did, because it was just a beyond phenomenal performance by him.
Yeah, special group. Tough guys up front for sure. And then Cam is just he's in my opinion, he's a once in a generational type of player. And what he's brought to this football program over the course of the last 2 seasons is it's tremendous, and it'll be hard pressed to ever do again. He's that talented. Obviously they see the ability of him to able to run the ball with elite contact balance, his center of gravity low to the ground, extremely hard to tackle. He doesn't rarely, if ever, get tackled one-on-one. So that ability in itself, which I think gives him, the ability to have a chance to play on Sundays. He could catch the ball. He has really good hands. We've seen him punt the ball. Seen him kick the ball. He can stand up very nicely in pass protection. And he'll play every core 4 in the NFL. So I think that just his added value for a player like that has only gone up, and it's something I think we all knew in the building and fans of ASU. But I think over the last 2 games on the Big 12 and then the Peach Bowl on those what would be referred to as national platforms, I think the football world now knows just how good he is.
Yeah, I mean, it's like I said last year, I kidded with him and I said he probably didn't want this title with all the injuries last year, but he was the punt, pass, and kick champ. And I mean, to deliver that pass to Malik McClain too. I mean, in the game. Let me get to you on this, because again, and wrapping up the game, I mean, like you said, I mean, the defensive line, I mean, what they did, I mean, Caleb McCullough, like you said, a guy that, and coaches talked about, a guy that stuck around, couldn't have been happier for him. The first play of the second half, bam, here's an 8-yard loss, Quinn Ewers, welcome to the second half. We're still here to play. But when you look at everything that happened, and then, the no call, and I know coach after the game said, I just have to understand better what targeting is. And you as coaches have always done, and I mean, and I've said to you before, being around you and being around guys like Coach Kurtzing, yeah, you're going to be frustrated, but it's on and up to the next play. Unless it's the last play of the game, it's on and up to the next play. Like, yeah, you're going to be frustrated, but when you see something like the targeting that allegedly and not allegedly, it goes to review and it doesn't get called. I mean, yeah, I know it's an emotional swing, but just how tough is that, and how? I mean, as a coach and you're on the sideline, how big of a challenge is it to kind of keep the team up, frustrated that, they believe they didn't get a call that was, definitely by the rule of the, by the lay of the, by the word of the rule, targeting?
Well, I think first you have to put it in perspective, right? You go and you play a 60-minute game. You mentioned the punt return. There was several calls for us and against us that we may or may not have gotten. I mean, it wasn't like they just didn't call flags against Arizona State, right? So, as a coach and doing this for as long as I have, and as you prepare your players, and Kenny's done an excellent job with this, is that, we can't control that. And the ebbs and flows of what gets called and what doesn't is completely out of our control. And if you are focusing on that, you're going to be lapsing somewhere else. So, I think our guys all year have done a fantastic job of not getting caught up in the minutia of the things that we cannot control. And as you step away from the game, obviously you're watching it as a fan, whether you're in the stadium, watching it on the Jumbotron, or you're at home watching all the replays. We don't have that access. I know we have the film and stuff, but we're not, as intently focused on that, because one way or the other, we've got to go play the next play. And so it isn't until you step away from the game and then really fully digest what transpired in that actual play. And so again, I think Coach Dillingham said it the best. I just want someone to sit down with me and explain what targeting is, because I'm not quite sure what it is anymore.
Yeah, exactly. And a lot of analysts and myself, included, doing a show, and I always get with you, Homer show, and I've always said from the beginning, yeah, it's not all rainbows and unicorns. Last year I had talking about different things. Yeah, it's like, okay, this isn't good right now, and this is just how it is. But it cracks me up when I listen to some analysts and people, and like you said, you can't, and like I always say to you too, you can't spell fanatic without fan. But listening to analysts, and Joel Klatt is a guy, and he's like, yeah, he goes, and he said something I've agreed with since I think they brought targeting in. I don't think it should be an ejection. It can be a 15-yard penalty, and I think it should be treated like, what is that? Unsportsmanlike conducts.
Yeah.
That it should, if you get two, in a game, then yeah, okay, you could be sat down. But when Joel Klatt's like, yeah, by the letter of the rule, he's like, and he goes, the thing that will frustrate a lot of you fans out there, and I've said it a million times, like, if you're going to call it in the first, second, and third quarter, well, it's still the same call in the fourth quarter. So, but again, to your point, and I said that on Monday on the show, that I just said, you know what? I said, you got to move on and up. And I go, we're going to be talking to Coach Ragle, and I go, inevitably it is the next play. But yeah, I mean, it's just, when everybody puts everything into it, and, again, one call goes that way. And again, like Coach said too, it doesn't guarantee you win. But I want to get to you with this too, is obviously I know, he's done, he transferred here after you came back here too, but Xavier Guillory, just as a young man, and obviously, in talking to him, and obviously very, very proud of his Native American background, and just the kind of work ethic he's had in the time you've known him and seen him grow. How has he grown, and just what do you feel he meant to this program and to the receiver room in general?
Yeah. Just lights up my heart when I speak of him, because, to watch him grow, I've been with him for 3 years. And to watch his, the one thing about Xavier from the day I met him was his work ethic was tremendous. And that's when I just in that alone, in the first few weeks, month that I had him there at Idaho State, watching him work and how he approached his work, I knew this kid had a chance to be special. And then the more I got to know him, and then when I sat down and privately, and we shared our stories about our fathers, and both going through the cancer, which I don't talk a whole lot about, and he and I really that was a connection that I think was really, I believe that God puts people in your lives for reasons, and at the right time. And I think that I was, part of my journey to Idaho State was sent to, to put me in that young man's life at that particular time. And, it was forever a connection that will last a lifetime. And, just to watch his, maturity levels grow here at Arizona State as a young man, but most importantly as a player, and continue to get better. And then when JT went down, to see him step up was really awesome to see. Obviously, Peach Boy got a little banged up, but I'm just tremendously proud of him. He'll forever be a special player in my heart and in my family's hearts. We really love the kid, and you know what? I'm looking and excited for his future, because I think he's got a chance to go do some special things. And regardless if he goes on and plays in the NFL, which I think he has an opportunity to do that, and a really good opportunity. But regardless of whatever endeavor he chooses outside of that, I think he's going to be successful. And I just simply love the young man.
Yeah, no, I mean, those two touchdowns in the like I told you, in the Big 12 championship game, I don't know if I'm still over that one, as I saw it Applebee's in El Paso, Coach.
Yeah, that's a tough situation for you. I know we talked about that.
Things happen there. Hey, I got to get you out here on this. So and again, I know can't talk about anybody, but I guess the good thing about when you come off a game, obviously win or lose, getting into the next game plan. But now, man, we talk about this. You are into recruiting, man. So I know here in Arizona, obviously a lot of good players, but how's it going? And I mean, I got to think to a point it's a little more energized, just because of coming off the season you guys did, and obviously winning when people not that they weren't paying attention, but see it and know what kind of coach you are. But how's the recruiting trail going out there?
Yeah, day 1 yesterday, day 2 today. It's been awesome. The coaches have when they see you, the student athletes, when they see you stepping onto their campus, and spending time with coach, the coaches, you feel it. It is it's tangible, it's real, and it's been awesome. Just in this early parts of getting out, and the Valley is activated, and I can't imagine that it's not like that across the country where all of our guys are at, and it's a good feeling to have, and we've got to capitalize on this momentum and continue to bring in top level talent so we could continue to build this thing and stay at the top on a consistent basis.
Absolutely. Coach, I'll leave you with something funny too. I was so on Sunday after I was back, I was driving, I saw a personalized license plate that said "I fix eyes." And I figured it out. I said, I'm like, it's an eye doctor. And they're in front of me, but their license plate cover was a Texas Longhorns cover. So they had their window down, and I said, "Oh, hey, excuse me." And they're like, "Yeah." I go, "So you're an eye doctor?" They're like, "Yeah." I go, "So did you unfix the eyes of the review officials trying to call the targeting?" And so they got a genuine laugh like you did, and they're like, "You're something." Like, "Were you there?" And I said, "Oh, I was there." I said, "But hey, you know what?" I go, "Hell of a game either way." But I go, if you fix eyes, I go, could you please maybe go back to them and fix theirs? Because I know we as Sun Devil Nation would appreciate it. So I figured you might appreciate that one. I got your back,
I love
Coach.
it. I appreciate it. You're the man.
Man, well, hey, again, thanks for coming on. I appreciate it. And I definitely know enjoy the rest of the recruiting trail. And maybe before the spring, we'll grab some food one of these days, Coach. But I know you're busy, so take care of the recruiting. And, yeah, bring them all here to Sun Devil Country.
Yeah, that's the plan, and we'll definitely do that in February when we have a little downtime. Always appreciate you, Michael, and you're the best. Go Devils.
Man, thanks, Coach. That is great. That is Sun Devil Assistant Head Coach Charlie Ragle, Special Teams Coordinator. We're going to step aside, and more Pitchfork Lunch coming on up.
KSRN has the inside track on all things sports, with topics and opinions from former players and local personalities. Catch 15-year NFL veteran Ed Smith and Jay Adams on Easy Sports Talk every Saturday.
Unfortunately, with this back and these knees, I don't quite have that ability, or at least I use.
Are you good?
For all things Arizona Cardinals, tune in Monday nights with Casual E and Sean McConnell.
Bird gang. I know it's another tough loss, but keep encouraged. We miss you, BA.
And now you can exclusively listen to former Arizona Cardinal Jeremy Bridges on his show, JB and Benny Blue Review.
Exactly.
Don't be dumb.
Sending the message out to the world.
Always relay that message. Don't be dumb.
Yes, your guy, Benny Blue, comedian extraordinaire.
Exclusively on KSRN, Casual Sports Radio Network.
This is the sound of a racing heart. It's beating a little faster because it belongs to a young child. But this child isn't in the middle of a close soccer game or playing with her puppy in the yard. Her heart is racing because she's just been told she has to move foster homes again. Change a child's story. There's a child waiting for a volunteer like you. Learn how you can help at casaforchildren.org. This is the sound of a racing heart. It's beating a little faster because it belongs to a young child. But this child isn't in the middle of a close soccer game or playing with her puppy in the yard. Her heart is racing because she's just been told she has to move foster homes again. Change a child's story. There's a child waiting for a volunteer like you. Learn how you can help at casaforchildren.org.
Got a big painting project you've been putting off because you don't think you can afford it? Well, it's time to call the team at Customer First Solutions. Customer First is your one-stop shop for all home repairs, from full interior and exterior painting to handyman services, drywall repair, electrical, and plumbing. Customer First has the most competitive prices in the Valley. Your flat rate quote is based on the square footage of your home, and that includes wall repair. All Customer First technicians are licensed, bonded, and fully background checked for your assurance. Call or text Customer First Solutions at 480-877-0255 for your free quote. Customer First Solutions, where our customers and their homes are our first priority. Got a big painting project you've been putting off because...
You are listening to the best internet radio station on the web, KSRN, Arizona.
You absolutely are listening to the best internet radio station on the web. For those checking us out on the Casual Sports Radio Network, again, go to www.ksrnaz.com. Click listen live. For those of you watching, again, hope you enjoyed Coach Ragle right there. But for those that can't watch, again, you can always listen out and about, running through your Bluetooth in your car, all that good stuff. The best internet radio station on the web is the Casual Sports Radio Network. So you do definitely want to check it out. But yeah, big ups, big shout out to Coach Ragle. Is again, busy day of recruiting for him. Is like you said, day 2, getting out there the rest of this month. And then February said is downtime, kind of just chill. And then, yes, because there still is a signing day in February too. I know everybody, more focuses on the early signing day, and a ton do sign early out of high school. And then you look at the transfer portal too. So I get it. It is crazy busy. Completely understand. Completely understand. But yeah, there's signing day in February. So a little downtime there. But again, he's hitting the high schools. And again, it's absolutely awesome just due to the fact that, yeah, it is excitement. Yes, it does suck that that when you lose, we understand that. But at the same time, like that's why I said to him, it's crazy because, then there's a game the next week. So yeah, you correct mistakes. You want to get back out there, but you come back and yeah, I mean, and just diving into recruiting. Like I said, other coaches are out and about across the country. So other coaches are still here locally too, but they're out and about. They're recruiting. That's why I said, I can't ask him to comment on a player. And yes, in this day and age, it is one of those compliance things that, look, I'm all for compliance. I'm all for not, breaking rules. But what I'm saying is, if I come and recruit you, you can say, oh, I talked to, Coach Caratuno, blah, 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 and everybody out there, and they offer me and blah, blah, blah. And it can be every single where. Hell, they could even tag the NCAA's Twitter page or Instagram. Saying, oh yeah, this coach, and they can be so happy. But if a coach says it's a compliance issue, like, yeah, we're here checking out this player. Like that's one of the things that it's just ridiculous to me. But either way, neither here nor there. But yeah, they're out on the recruiting trail, big momentum, so stoked. So again, if you missed Coach Ragle, again, subscribe to my YouTube channel. Go to YouTube. Watch the live on YouTube, but you can subscribe to my YouTube channel. It's at M as in Michael, V as in Victory, C as in Champ 005 at MVC005 on YouTube. Subscribe away, man. And then you can hear or you can watch, but you can hear everything Coach Ragle had to say. Again, Canyon Floyd out of Horizon High School. I always like to remind him of that. He went to a very good spot, a local high school, to get a very talented punter, holder. he can also kick too, and he's also, if they need, be an emergency quarterback. So I love it, man. I love that fact. But yeah, just again, phenomenal season, man. Coach Ragle and Coach Dillingham, but they just staffed it. And you can say, well, as you say, when they won, they did a great job last year. And guys, I've talked about it. The energy in practice last year, in the midst of a losing streak, like injuries and players going down, and like it's just one thing after another. But they brought the energy every day. The guys that were practicing, again, the details were there, and it was just absolutely awesome. So, and look, it paid off this year, man. Like Xavier Alford said, like they put in that work since January, and they've said it a million since this time last year. It started this time last year, and the guys stuck around, and Coach Dillingham talked to. The buy-in, they grew, and it was a phenomenal ride, and now I got to keep it going. But speaking of keep it going, let's transition to a little hoops. Again, like I said, the men taking on Kansas tomorrow night, the 10-3 Sun Devils. Again, 1-1 in conference play. Oh, by the way, I wonder if they got any. Let's see. Well, Cincinnati fell out of the rankings, as did Baylor. So there were two teams that were in the top 25 that suffered losses that dropped out. So Baylor was 25, Cincinnati was 16. But Baylor did receive votes. So did Cincinnati. Yeah, it's ASU not received any votes yet, but Arizona received 3, but they're having a tough season. So we'll see. Again, a win against Kansas, and then they have Baylor again on Saturday as well. Don't forget about that. Like I said, they have Kansas first and foremost, but it's the men's and women's doubleheader, 3:30 and 7:30, and that will be again just an awesome event all day at Desert Financial Arena. So again, can't beat that. But take care of business first against this Kansas team. And when you look at Bashir Jihad and both Joshan Sanin are averaging 13.5 points a game. Alston Mason is at 11. BJ Freeman now at 11.8. So again, 4 guys averaging over double figures, and Adam Miller and Jaden Quaintance are right on the cusp at 9.6 and 9.4. But look how this team is playing defense. Again, that just the averages. It is. Jaden Quaintance, by the way, 41 blocks on the season. Speaking of defense, guys, Coach Hurley has talked about this. And look, they've had a bounce back from games. I've talked about it a little bit, but we've seen it. And it's, early in the season, but, your first game against a team you should probably, a very, very feisty team. And they get a win, but, came out flat. And ever since then, you get a win over Santa Clara, you beat St. Mary's, you beat New Mexico. After that game against Idaho State, where they won 55-48, but they beat Santa Clara. Again, Herb Sendek, former Devils coaches, so you Pitchfork Lunchers know, coaching there. You beat them 81-74. Then you go to Gonzaga, you're tied at halftime, and then the Zags outscore them by 8 in the second half. It was one hell of a game. And you come back, and then you beat Grand Canyon, and then you beat St. Thomas and Cal Poly. Then you have the Acrisure Classic in Palm Springs, where you, again, battle back and beat New Mexico 85-82. St. Mary's physical as all get out. We got Kyle Dodd on talking about that, and maybe after Baylor, maybe because a little into Big 12 play now. I'll reach out and see if we can get Kyle Dodd back on again. But yeah, you beat New Mexico 85-82. You beat a physical St. Mary's team 68-64. You turn around and beat USD 90-53. And then you go to Florida again. You played on December 3rd, 11 days off. You play Florida and 83-66 against a team with, again, very big physical guards. Again, no excuse. I mean, ASU, look, like I said, I am not talking out of both sides of my mouth. And I know you pitchfork lunchers know that. But I mean, when I went back and watched the Florida game, watched a replay of it, I mean, Florida just got them. I mean, it was, their physical guards. And yeah, it was a tough night. It was an unfortunate night to have a tough night shooting. But look, I mean, that's stuff you can, again, adjustments, learning, and moving forward. So, you lose to Florida 83-66. And then, let's see, you have a week off, but then you turn around and beat UMass 78-62. Again, very nice turnaround win. Then you open up Big 12 play in Provo. Like I said, you dropped. I mean, against BYU, guys, it was tough sledding. They lost 76-56. They lost by 20. BJ Freeman led the team with 11 points, but you talk about a team they shot 36% from the field. They were 20% from the 3-point line. I mean, 6 for 29 from the three.